We see a lot of mistakes, don't we, in ad accounts, especially when we're sort of at that sort of new business stage. Someone like a potential brand's approached us and we're doing sort of a full audit of their Facebook ads. What are some of the sort of common mistakes you see?
One of the main things is like lack of a full funnel structure.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to kind of like build your strategy out. So for example, like the top funnel audiences, you just want to make sure like it's just like no one that's seen your ads before. So just remembering to exclude out anyone that's been on your website or engaged with your socials, and making sure it's just like purely your new audience. And then obviously when you're looking at your remarketing, so just making sure you include all the different types of remarketing that you can do. So for example, you might have people that have been on your website, but have you thought about the people that have looked at your social pages, people that have engaged with your videos? There's so many different ways of kind of remarketing out, but also remembering to exclude out the people who may have purchased. And then your bottom of funnel, just thinking about the structure there. So with bottom of funnel, you just want to like give them a little nudge to see if they like can purchase or make that conversion. Just making sure you're excluding.
Is a huge part that we always see.
Definitely.
It always gets missed out.
Missed out.
Otherwise, you might think your top of funnel prospecting activity is performing really well, but actually it's including all your remarketing audiences.
Yeah, and it's also trying to figure out as well, like what audience is working best for you. Like, is it your social? Is it your website? Is it your new audiences? It's a good way of kind of like segmenting the data and figuring out what works best.
Another one we see as well is the use of objective, both in terms of like what they're actually looking to achieve and as well what objective you're selecting in the campaign setup to achieve that goal.
I guess the main thing is they need to know what their goal is. So is it to drive more traffic? So how many clicks do you want? Is it a conversion? So you want to make sure your call to action's like direct response. So is it shop now? You want to just be thinking about all these different objectives and what you want from it. I think that's the most important thing.
And then for creative copy ad formats, again, we see a lot of things happening there. There could be a lot of improvements.
Definitely. I would say like you've got so much variety, especially on Facebook. You've got like 5 spaces where you can have 5 actually primal text, 5 headlines that you can use as well. So you should be like testing out different copy, different types of ad formats as well. So like you mentioned Facebook, you want to be testing them all out to see what works for your brand, especially like fitting into the whole funnel structure as well. Yeah,
we always see it where we see an ad account, they've just got one ad copy running. But again, different people convert to different styles of copy.
And you want it to be kind of like, as I mentioned, if you're going for the conversions, you want it to be direct response. You don't want to keep people guessing and like reading loads and trying to figure out, be really clear with like your copy and creative as well.
And one of the final mistakes that I want to bring up as well is when people at sort of a campaign level, people are adding in sort of like their interests or their targeting at campaign level, and then for prospecting they'll have 6 to 8 campaigns running, which is absolutely chaotic, and it obviously doesn't give Facebook the volume of spend going through one campaign, and on campaign budget optimization where it can distribute your spend to the best performing, whereas actually that should be one campaign, giving it all the budget, giving it enough volume so it can really learn and adjust that spend and distribute it effectively. And obviously if you do want to test different targeting options, you can always have that like separate campaign that has those testing audiences that you want to give a go, want to give them a chance. And then if they've proven themselves, that's when you could then add them to that sort of always on solid, I know these audiences work, and add those into the main campaign